Caroline, you're on.
You're watching Carolina.
That's right.
That's right.
Let's go.
Vinnie. How are you?
I'm okay.
Are you gonna play us a tune? Is that why you have the git box? Are you gonna play a song?
No, I always have a guitar on.
Ah, okay. Alrighty.
I find it's more relaxing than an interview because I could just, you know, if I'm trying to think of something, I'll just start running some lines and it kind of calms me down.
Well, it's all it's nice to have something in front of you, like well, like I have a chair. You can't see me really. I have a chair. There's a chair and the computer's on it, so you want to feel like there's something protecting you, something between you and the person who's flinging questions at you.
It's funny, I have the iPad stacked on a bunch of my effects. I don't think I could get high enough, so I'm looking at fuzz tones and
yeah,
it's very funny.
Well, let's just start with new stuff. What are you working on right now? What's new with your?
This kind of exciting. Back in the '80s, Janice and I, my lovely wife,
yeah,
we had an album out on A&M called Modern Marriage. It's a pop album. We're working on the Never Heard sequel. You know, we had lost our deal then, and we just never approached it again.
Yeah.
But we're doing a second album, the one that never happened. But what's happening is it's like really getting to be experimental and very cool, which was weird because the first one was very poppy. This one, we're a little crazier, so it's getting a little out there. It's nice.
Yeah, cool. Well, where are you in the process of making that album? Are you like halfway? Are you just starting, or is it halfway through, or
2 or 3 songs in? You know,
cool.
we just nothing's finished.
Yeah.
But we wrote one last week where the rough vocal is actually the final vocal. I just told her to throw down a vocal rough, so we had it, and it's so good. It's like we're not going to be able to get it better than that because when you first write the song,
yeah,
you know, no better time to do it.
Well, that's so cool that you guys now was it like in the past, like years ago, Janice just kind of she would maybe sit in on something, and she's really become a real force with your music and your recordings and your shows. I mean, she's a real presence now, right?
Yeah, she always has been.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as a songwriter too, her powers have just grown, if anything.
Yeah.
She works so much quicker than I do. She can write a song like, dang, just sit down and write a song.
That's amazing. So
yeah,
wow.
It's something.
So she's not just a vocalist. She also writes songs, and does she play an instrument as well? Does she play piano or guitar?
That's her advantage. The fact that she doesn't play an instrument.
Yeah.
There's no limits for her. It's like she'll go over the bar lines. You know, she thinks nothing of singing a bar of 7 or 6, and it always sounds very natural because she's not thinking of it. Where I just immediately start dissecting it. It's like, oh, you went to 6 there, and she just looks at me like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
She's much more organic than I am. I'm like a maniac.
Well, does she read music notation? Is she all like music?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's tricky. I remember at Berkeley, you know, like half the students would really prefer tabs, guitar tabs, and some.
Guitar tabs.
Hmm?
I hate guitar tabs.
You do? I love guitar tabs. It's so fast. Why do you hate tabs?
I'm musical.
Oh, okay.
That's... Okay. I don't do well with numbers, and I always the hardest part with music for me. I usually everything's in my stomach and it's visceral. That's the way I work, and I learned to read music relatively late in life. So for me, it's just a tool. It's not a crutch.
Yeah.
You know, but I connect music, seeing the notes on the staff. There's something beautiful to that. When it's
There
reduced
is, yeah.
numbers and dots on lines.
Yeah.
Probably because I'm not very guitar oriented, so I
Mm.
kind of resent the fact that it's just a specific guitar thing.
Yeah.
I'm not a guitar fan, as you know. Oddly enough.
That's an insane thing to say. Yeah, but like music notation, I see that it's such a language. It's such a beautiful language, and I see that you miss all the fine nuances if you're only reading off tabs. But still, even though I've just said that, tabs are so fast, easy,
Well, cool.
and
If you like, I don't get it. I have to sit and go over it and go over it. I don't see it. It's not visually something I get.
yeah.
Whereas music on a staff, that's like fun.
I know, it is fun. All right, well, let's go. Okay, now let's just jump way in the past, like for there's no connection. Like, just take a jump in the past. Tell me how, because I've never really known. How did you very first get associated with Joe Jackson? How did you two hook up?
A friend of mine was in the band,
Yeah.
and told him about me,
Mm-hmm.
and he met. I don't know. I'm trying to think how it went. I just came over his house for like a very informal. I guess it was an audition. It was kind of funny. I set up my pedals and I stepped on the fuzz tone, and he said, "Hear that sound?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Don't ever use that."
What?
That's how we started. So he was looking for a very clean, very, very straight ahead jazz guitar kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think he liked what I brought to the music. I think I also overdubbed. I had the balls to overdub over one of his records and give it to him to show what I would sound like in the context. And he dug it.
Mm.
Which, knowing him now, that's like a miracle he dug it. You know,
Gosh.
that's not the kind of thing he would respond well to.
Yeah.
But
So you were fearless. You just went in there and did what you felt like, and then he.
more dumb than fearless.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Inexperienced. Yeah. So then what happened? So then you guys just, I don't know, he really liked your work and your artistry and said, "Come on board, Vinnie."
Well, I think he liked that I brought something different to the table.
Yeah.
It was a very non-rock and roll kind of guitar presence. I'm kind of bizarre. I'm not like your average rock and roll guy that just comes. I don't come in with a Strat and a fuzz tone. You know, I come in like a Pink Steinberger. So
I know.
it's a little bit like, oh, this guy's a little off the beaten path. And I think he dug that because he's a little nuts and I'm a little nuts.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm.
good and bad. You know.
So how many years did you work with him then? Was it like 8 years or so, or how long?
About 7 years,
Mhm.
and then I went back last year for the Duke album.
Yeah.
I was on that.
Okay. Well, did you decide to kind of discontinue working with Joe Jackson for any certain reason, or you just, I don't know, outgrew it and you wanted to try new stuff?
It's a very complicated story.
Oh, can you simplify it and not make it? Okay.
Not really. Just kind of worked out like that I was done with it at the time.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to get the Zummos thing to happen,
Mm.
you know, and you couldn't do both, actually, because I was always out on the road with him, and I had a series of health issues to deal with. There was a variety of things, and it just kind of dissipated, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we weren't really getting along the best, you know, in the last gigs and all.
Yeah.
But we're kind of like, he's a perfectionist, I'm a perfectionist. We both very opinionated on how something gets accomplished.
Yeah.
Times that it makes for good music, but it also makes for some odd times.
Exactly. I was gonna say it's a recipe for some trickiness, I guess. If you're both really particular.
Oh, he's brilliant, though. I mean, he's a brilliant writer.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he's so much heavier than people even realize.
Yeah.
Abilities he has musically. Just like if you knew what was really going on under there. He's like a trained classical composer.
That's right.
Writes out all the, you know, he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I always learn from every gig, every
Yeah.
session, anything I ever did with him, I came away learning something. Always stretching too. You know, he's always pushing me to my limits as a guitar player because he doesn't know the instrument.
Mm-hmm.
Or he'd have you play something here and then jump up to here.
Wow. So
Whoa.
So he plays piano. And does he play other instruments or just piano, Joe Jackson?
Actually, when I first joined, he used to give us demos of the material where he played all the instruments by hand, drums and stuff, and he was
Wow.
great. I thought they were much better than the final albums, if I can be honest.
Yeah.
The demos they really had a spark to them.
Yeah. So well, you know, also I think his voice has just gotten really, really nice over the years. Like in the early days, it was a little.
Always good. I always liked his voice.
Well, I liked it too, but it's I don't know. Maybe it's mellowed nicely with age, and I don't know how old he is, but it's really nice these days. Although I haven't heard his voice in a while. He comes through Germany a lot.
The word mellow with Joe somehow.
He's in Germany, like not infrequently. Every few months, he's touring through Germany again. He goes to Berlin a lot, but I haven't seen him in years, like in 20 years. But anyway, enough about him. Now, explain what you said earlier. You said that you are not a guy who likes the guitar. What does that mean?
Not at all. I don't listen to any guitarists. I don't like hearing the instrument.
Why?
It's what I do. It's not a sound I particularly care to hear. The only thing I really listen to is, you know, some indie radio stuff, but I listen to jazz piano trios. That's kind of my model. I really want to be like Keith Jarrett. The only thing is I play the guitar. I want to do it on the guitar. That's kind of like where I'm at. So
yeah.
It's very frustrating because it's not that kind of an instrument, you know, and I've had to come to grips with the fact that, you know what, it's a guitar and you got to learn how to play it like a guitar because some things don't translate. But, well, you know, I'm a little crazy.
Well, how did you first connect with the guitar? How did that happen? And then
Beatles, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
did you? I mean, has it always been that way that you just didn't like the sound of it? But what made you play it then?
When I was a kid, I listened to all, you know, Hendrix and Clapton and the Beatles. I'd learn all the solos. Just at this point, I am so sick of it. I mean, I hear it all day long. When I'm not practicing, I'm writing, and I'm not writing, I'm recording.
Yeah.
So it's like telling someone to go into the office on their day off.
I get it. Okay. Yeah.
Unless it's somebody, like if I hear Alan Holdsworth or John Scofield, I'll stop and check that out. But I can't help but think like, well, that would be better on a piano. But I mean, guys like that, those are the only two guys that'll really get my attention.
Yeah, I think I understand. Like you hear other people playing stuff, and maybe you'd think, okay, I hear what you're trying to do, and I'm bored. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Well, it's not even bored. It's just that I'm also trying to do my own thing.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm trying to get my own voice on the instrument, especially in terms of jazz. The rock and roll aspect, everybody knows what I do with that. It's very Beatley. You know, I can do a variety of things in that. That's not something I work on. But the bebop, my approach is very different. Not having listened, like I never listened to like Wes Montgomery or Johnny Smith. I don't know that stuff, so I don't play like it at all.
Yeah.
My playing is kind of strange because I don't know the standard guitar stuff you're supposed to know. Like I don't really know a lot of scales. I just work in terms of eighth notes, you know, spelling chords. Like if there's a certain, like say D minor, G, and C, I'll come up with many variations of playing that in straight eighths.
Well,
so I straight through.
Yeah, you're playing. It's a very, very fluid line. Like it's a solid line, but it's.
That's what I'm trying for.
Yeah. But you have a definite style, especially because you with Steinberger, playing those Steinberger guitars. That's kind of your ID. Like that's the picture a lot of people have. You with that really cool guitar, and you have a definite sound that's only yours, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, they're convenient.
You know that. Come on.
I play those because they're convenient. You know, I have small fingers. They're stubby. So a regular guitar like this is very hard for me to maneuver. Steinberger, especially the old Steinbergers, have very thin necks, and it's very easy for me to get around. Plus, I rarely tune them. I like that. I don't like dealing with technical issues. I like the fact that I go on and sometimes I take the guitar out when we have a gig somewhere, and I'm astonished it's still in tune from the last gig.
That's amazing.
I play the whole gig and it's still in tune.
That's unheard of for guitars. Jeez. What kind of guitar is that? What kind of guitar are you holding on to?
This is an Epiphone Emperor. I used this on the, what was the Joe tour? The really big group, too big group. What was that? Oh, not Blaze of... Was it Blaze of Glory? Yeah.
Was it Blaze of Glory? Oh.
Yeah, I used that guitar. He wanted me to use a more of a jazz-looking instrument. and I have a good relationship with Epiphone.
Yeah.
So it's a nice guitar. It's just given my druthers, Steinberger. It fits my hand.
That's beautiful, though. That's a beautiful guitar. It really is. Well, let's talk a little bit about. I was thinking earlier about social networking and some of the artists that fans are lucky enough to find. For example, on Facebook, and there are hardly any artists who people are very familiar with and also fond of who are as accessible as you. Like, I can think of one other, and that's Chris France. And Chris France really kind of just makes himself totally available and responds to everything. And you're also this exact same way. You're very, very reachable, and you respond to almost everything. I think it's great. So how?
Well, why wouldn't I be? Why wouldn't I?
I don't know, because you get. There are other artists who pull the power play and, like, you know, please contact my management, or I don't know, or.
You know, my thing is, I really like conversation.
Yeah.
And I like talking to people, even if it's online. And I like if there's some real communication and we're actually talking about real things, some substance to them. That to me is as good as playing music. It should be the same. A good solo should be like a conversation. And, you know, if you're still at the phase where you're into the bullshit of like, well, I'm higher up on the food chain, someone's lower up on, I mean, I'm so over all that. You know, if you think you play good, you play an instrument better than other people, there's a few guys you just got to check out, bring you right down to earth. Someone starts talking about what a great player they are. I said, well, throw on some Alan Holdsworth or throw on Jeff Beck, and then get back to me. You know, tell me if you still think you're a great guitarist. You know, we all have things we do. I have things. I remember when I was with Joe, we once played the Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah.
And this guy's backstage, long hair, cool-looking guy. He said, I just wanted to compliment you, man. I love you playing, and I just can't get over your variety of styles, how you go in and out of them. And I was like, you know, actually my head was a little swollen at that time. I mean, things were really happening at that point. I said, oh, yeah, you know, it's just something I do. What's your name? He goes, Steve, and we're talking, and I'm looking at him. I said, wait a minute, what's your last name? And he said, Vi. I said, whoa. I said, wait a second now. You want to know how I do? I said, I have no idea how you do what you do. And we became friends from that moment on. But to him, I mean, I saw it from his point. I did something he didn't do, and he does something I don't do. And why is it that people have to think, well, this person's better than that person, or I'm better than you? I mean, everybody does something.
Yeah.
What they do.
That's
You'd be
true.
surprised that the players I actually like are not chop guys usually. Aside from Holdsworth and Schofield, like I love Jimmy Vaughan. He's like one of my favorite guys. I preferred him to Stevie Ray.
Yeah.
Like no comparison to me. I'd rather hear him any day of the week.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's, I don't know, it's still, it's not really that common that, just, you know, for just like the basic user on Facebook who wants to go on and find their favorite people, a lot of the artists are not, they're not accessible like you are. It's really, I think it's more of a rare thing. So, I think it's great that you're that way, and it's to your benefit. I mean, I would be that way if I were, you know.
Well, I'm not as successful as some people too. I mean, if you're somebody like John Scofield's a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And I know he likes my playing. He compliments me. I send him stuff to get feedback, but he can't give me a quote. Because if he gives it to me, there's about 50 other guys he has to give it to. And he's constantly being harassed.
Oh, gosh.
Oh,
yeah.
I can see that. I mean, if that was happening to me, that's not happening to me. I just have a few people very politely ask me questions. And if I can help them clear up something about the music, make it easier for them to play their instrument, that's a good thing. That's very positive. That's
well, you've got really your fans are really supportive. You've always got enthusiastic comments on your page and your YouTube videos. You've got super nice fans, nice people. And they
I really do. It's a small bunch, but they're very loyal and they're very. Yeah, now it's an odd thing with the social media. You know, it's a different world.
Yeah.
Really, it's not enough to just like put out music. You have to actually have a relationship with the fans now. You have to have that. And I talk to many artists, and that's pretty much what it is now. You have to be constantly in touch with people. because it's more of it's a different thing than it was. It's interesting. I just wish financially it wasn't so bad as it is now, you know? People don't buy music.
I know they don't. I know they don't buy it, but yeah. I was gonna ask you, like you're doing these kind of small or small, not huge shows in New York, right? Like in jazz clubs. Do you?
Yeah. We also just did something in Santa Fe. We try to get around, but it's hard to get work. You know, we can't even find clubs in New York. They don't. The club owners don't return your phone calls, don't return your emails, because everybody's lined up to play for nothing here. It's very, very hard to do. I have to pay a band when we do it, but we're willing to go anywhere, play anywhere. We love it. We've played, we did a wonderful concert a few years ago in Florida. It went down a storm. People loved it. It was really something. It was very gratifying. And Santa Fe was great. You know,
well, do you think the art of like concerts, is that just kind of fading away? Is that becoming a thing of the past because everything?
Because it's expensive.
Yeah, right. I
mean, what I did with Joe, the touring back then, I don't think that exists anymore unless you're like the Stones or something. Because they can't, you know, you got to pay airfare for people. You have to put them up in a hotel. You have to feed them. There's insurance. There's movies. There's setting up the stuff. And if only a few people come to the gig, you just lost a ton of money. You know, I think what will happen eventually, it'll be some kind of hologram situation. I don't really think people.
That's weird.
Well, they're already doing it, you know. Yeah. You'll see like Elvis perform with an orchestra.
Oh God.
And you happen to know he's dead. You know, hasn't slowed down his career. He's actually doing much better.
He looks better too. He looks really good.
I gotta love him.
Yeah. So now, how is that? How did it come about that that one track was used in the Iron Man movie? That's cool.
Well, that's social media. They came across it.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing about, I keep telling people who are in music now, you have to work it all day long.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of people hearing what you do and finding it, because you're not, traditional way of doing things doesn't exist anymore. And people of my age group, they can't understand that. They don't understand. You have to be online all day long. You have to be talking to people. I talk to so many DJs. I'm constantly getting my music on different shows because of that. I want people to hear it. And a lot of music supervisors for TV shows and movies, they listen to internet radio or look at internet things like this. This is where they look. That's what this generation and generation before, that's kind of, it's just the norm now.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of cool. Myself, I have no problem with all this.
Yeah. Well, how does it, let's say, what if you're just starting out now and you're just if you're someone who's getting a band together, or even if you're just a solo artist, how is that different now than compared to when you started out? What do they have to, what's the pattern or what's the problem?
I would advise them to quit and study law or something. I can't advise anybody to go into this business now.
That's tragic. No, really.
And I mean, I was producing a young artist, a good friend of mine's son, this guy Eric. He's very good artist, very unique music. And I said, well, you're going to put out an album? He says, yeah. I said, well, you're going to do a hard copy? He goes, no, I'm not going to charge people for the album. I said, what do you mean? You know, you got to try to sell some of them. He goes, no, it's very uncool to charge for your music. So this generation actually thinks it's like wearing like brown shoes and white socks with penny loafers or something, you know, to charge for your music.
Yeah.
It's sad that they think it has no value other than being out there in the internet world, you know, floating around. I still think it has value. It's the reason I still make cohesive albums where the order of the songs matter. I put time in on the artwork. I realize it's a dead format. Everybody thinks I'm crazy putting out actual physical CDs, but for those of a certain age or even some younger people who appreciate it, they love looking at the artwork and reading the liner notes and the order of the thing. It means there's more than one good song on the album if the order means something, as opposed to a lot of the way things are done now. I'm not going to say music sucks now, because it doesn't. There's a lot of good music. There's a lot of terrible pop music, but you know what? There always was.
That's true.
I hate the people who get into the whole, our music was better. Some of it.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't like a lot of what my contemporaries liked when I was a kid. You know, you'd be amazed the major acts that I can't stand and never could. I'm not going to tell you what they are.
Shoot.
Get a lot of crap from people for that when they happen to let something slip out.
Yeah. No, don't worry. Well, plus, I'll send you, when I get the interview edited down, I'll send it to you, and you can, if there's anything you don't want in there, just tell me and we'll cut it out.
Appreciate that.
Listen to that. That was cool.
I don't know what I'm just, you know.
You're just nervously fiddling around.
No, I do this all day long. There's always usually a guitar in my hand. This is just what, I also have a thing where I found that it's really good to make it more of a casual thing when you're playing. If every time you sit down it's like, I am about to play the instrument now. This is a great moment. That's like the worst thing someone could tell me is if I'm on a session or they send me something, this one really counts. This one has to be good. They all count.
They all count, bitch. Yeah. Well,
what do they think I do? You know.
Tell me, I love to ask artists this question. When you are on stage performing, what is your relationship to the audience? Do you lock into any of the people ever, or are you in some zone that does not include the people? What is that? What is that like for you?
When I'm playing, I'm in a zone. I totally drift out when I'm playing. I sometimes have trouble coming back. Like solo, I just drift. No, I mean, I remember once playing with Joe, we did Heart of Ice, and I took it so far out there that after the solo, I just kind of looked around for a minute. I wasn't quite sure where I was, because to me, that's where you go with the solo. You do all your practicing at home.
Yeah.
But then when you play out and you try to express yourself in a solo, you should just let your mind go, wander.
Wow.
You know? Just go. Go. That's the whole point of playing. That's the high. Now, our gigs, I mean, I obviously have to have a relationship with the audience because they're coming to see me and Janice. And we're both actually kind of funny on stage. I'm a real loose cannon. Anything could come out of my mouth. I've been known to. I mean, one of my pedals broke when we were at the Blue Note. I took it and threw it across the stage and into a 10-minute thing on how it was crap and how these pedals will disappoint you. And it's just anything goes. And I'm always aware of that fact when I get up to the mic. Like, God, I could say anything. Everybody's looking at you. Looking for you to say the thing.
Right.
And I'm not, it's like we don't, it's a jazz trio, and very eclectic, but we're not like, oh, this next song comes from, no, we're up there, we're being goofy, we're joking around, and we end our set with Home on the Range is like the second song, but we've ended our set recently with a bluegrass tune.
That's right, you put that on my timeline. That was absolutely beautiful. That is so gorgeous. I'm going to repost that later when we're through
People
talking.
just, I mean, their jaws drop, or I'll do, just the fact that I do Home on the Range. Right after a very fast fusion thing, we do Home on the Range, but I do it like a steel guitar with the Steinberger. And people look around. Then I bring out the accordion. And then we do something with Janice with just harmonica. I play harmonica,
that's cool.
bass, and a voice. And the show goes up and down, and it really has peaks and valleys, and then it goes way up and way down. And then we end up, I even like bring up a friend of mine, one of my oldest friends, and we do a song of mine called Take the Cream. Because we used to play that music growing up. We used to play Cream. So after a night of bebop, I just throw this song in. And people love it. They love the fact that it's irreverent and that we'll just go here and we'll go there and we'll just wander. I like that, too.
Oh, that's a cute song. So when you do solo then, so you're on stage doing your solo and you're in your zone, are you actually thinking of, okay, now I will execute this little run? Or where are you, where are you in your head?
I'm generally just watching it like everybody else. I'm an odd player.
Wow.
Most of my playing is natural. I have technique from what I've learned and what I practice. But I really, like, half the time people will say, well, how do you hold the pick? How do you do this? And I say, I don't know. And I have to play it and watch my hands to find out how I do it, because I don't know. And I think it's a good state to be in. It's good to keep your mind absolutely away from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the people who sit and execute a run and plan it, I mean, I'm a human being. Sometimes I'll want to try a hot lick. You know, it's bound to happen where for a minute I'll say like, I've been working, I'll try this. And that's always the worst part of the solo. We did a thing, I don't know if you noticed, I have something up on YouTube. We do this bop song called Candy.
Yeah.
And I got into something with the drummer. I'm rough on drummers, for one thing, because I play. So I know exactly what I want, and I like them to almost anticipate what I'm going to play. And I did something where I played a line, and I kept doing it and turning to him, and he caught every one. And it was magical. We just, both of us were in the same place, and every time I threw it at him, he caught it.
That's freaky.
And
Wow.
it was, I got off the stage, it was like, wow, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm trying to do. Yeah, well, that's any good jazz, that's kind of what you're trying to do when you're playing jazz.
That's
For
cool.
lack of a better word, jazz. I hate to say the word. But
Well,
no, then that becomes something of a plan. But most of the time, it's just wandering and drifting. And I'll do anything on there, on the neck. I have no regard. If it's an A, I'll solo an A flat.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just all you got to do is move it one fret, and then you're cool again.
Yeah. Well, where would you like to, when you, if you take into consideration your guitar playing up till this point, like where can you go from here? Where would you like to go from here as a guitarist extraordinaire?
Well, the only thing, I don't know about that. The only thing I'm trying to do is constantly be able to play eighth notes over any variety of changes at any tempo.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to up the tempo.
Jeez.
When I hear a guy like Holdsworth or Schofield, how they can blow over changes that mortals would just shudder at. And they can do it at breakneck tempos.
I know, God.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make the area between this and this invisible. I want it to come right out into the hands.
Yeah.
And one thing helped is changing picks. That was like a really big thing for me.
What kind of pick do you use? What kind of picks do you have?
I discovered about a year ago, Dweezil Zappa. I know a little bit. We have an email relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I read he was using these Red Bear picks.
Yeah.
What they are is they're beveled, and they're made to hit the string at an angle.
Oh,
It's
okay.
hard to miss.
Uh-huh.
Can be more accurate.
Sounds like Fly the Bumblebee. Cool.
Well,
Wow.
yeah, it allows you to play. I think my chops doubled with this pick.
No, really? That's cool.
Yeah.
Wait, can you hold it up for a sec? Hold it up in the light. I really can't see it. Oh, look at that. And wait, go the other way? This way towards your desk? Let's see. Other way? No, other way. Opposite way.
desk.
Let's see. There. Oh, look at that. That's cool. Wow.
They're very expensive,
Uh-huh.
and they're kind of fragile. It's the only thing.
Yeah.
But I'll use this for just the bop part of the set,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll use one of his other picks that are a little thicker for the more rockish kind
Yeah.
of things. But I'm not just plugging them because I endorse them. I plug them because they're unbelievable in terms of you're trying to get eighth notes and accuracy. I can't see any other way to do it. Whenever I go back to like one of these picks or something, it just feels like I have lead shoes on or something.
God.
It's just nice to be able to play what you're thinking.
Yeah.
I'm all about getting the impediments out of the way, which is why I play Steinbergers, because the reaction of the notes is much quicker coming out of the guitar. There's no time lag. So between that and this, and I really hunted down a wire that I like the way it sounds and an amp that I like the way it sounds. So I really have a good sound. All the elements are working for me now. It's just a matter of getting all this together.
Yeah.
And that's what I work on.
What size strings do you prefer then, anyway? The fatter ones or thin?
Different on all guitars.
Mm-hmm.
I have, on the jazz guitar that I use, which is a Steinberger custom made, it's a neck put on an old body. I have 11 through 46, which is an odd, really, the first three are heavy, and the last three are from like a 009 set.
Ah.
I found this works best for me,
Mm-hmm.
for the plain third. But yet I have on some of I have a Yamaha SG-2000 that I do a lot of my pop stuff on. Like when you hear songs like Ringo and Play Paul McCartney, most of that's done on the either Epiphone Casino or the SG-2000 by Yamaha, and I'll put 10s on those.
Yeah, cool.
Fine, whatever. My choice of strings, though, when I'm playing any kind of rock and roll or just all around, if I go to a session, they say just bring one guitar, it would be 9s.
Yeah.
A little sound, but so I grew up playing for the, you're going to do the bending stuff. You know, it's not the way to go for me. It's just second nature to me.
God. Do you ever have stretches where you don't play the guitar, you just take a break?
No.
Never.
No.
365
Oh,
days
that's
a year
what I
you
heard.
play the gitbox. Really?
Yeah.
Gosh, that's amazing.
In fact, I get weird if I don't. I start to get a little, like, almost like withdrawal. I have to play. I have to be ready to play. It's like I won't go to a session or I won't play anything unless I do my warm-ups, too. That's another thing. I never just pick up the guitar and play. It's the best way to screw up your hands. And I like to be prepared to be at my best when I pick up an instrument.
Yeah.
And then this all sounds very strange, but it's all very true. I'm trying to do something with my playing, and the only way you get to do that is by playing every day. You can't not play and then expect to play giant steps at 300 BPM. It's not going to happen. Yeah. And I don't play a lot live, so that's another reason I play more in the house. Keep that facility going, you know.
That's weird. Do you think live shows, are those just gonna phase out? That can't be. That's
well, not weird. Locally. No, locally it'll always happen.
Okay.
I think you're seeing less concerts. You know, there's less big concert tours with people traveling. I think some groups will probably start having different backup bands in different cities because who can afford to send a band on the road?
I don't know. Well, you mentioned the expensive tickets. We just yesterday there was an ad. There's a concert in Cologne in October. Lisa Stansfield is like making a comeback. She's charging like $100 per ticket.
Wow.
Like, okay, Lisa, you think a lot of yourself, I guess. I mean, that's
a big
insane.
Crowd. I don't see a big crowd. $100 a ticket.
I don't either. Yeah, no.
No one could do that. Yeah.
I think that's insane to expect someone. Come on. I mean, it was crazy that the Rolling Stones charged that much, but Lisa Stansfield.
Yeah, but that's a piece of history.
Yeah, right. That's true.
Like they're still alive for one thing, and they're still playing, and they're still at the height of their games. You know.
Yeah.
They still sound like a high school band. It's amazing to me. Keith Richards still sounds like a kid picking up the guitar in high school. I love that. He has maintained that purity.
Yeah, well, Mick Jagger looks pretty good too, doesn't he? I mean, for a guy his age, he looks all right, I guess. He looks human still.
Doesn't eat. Apparently doesn't eat, right?
Is he a vegetarian? Maybe he's vegetarian.
I have no idea. I don't know much about him.
I don't either. I'm not a fan. I'm not a big fan of the Rolling Stones, but yeah. So your next big thing is, like you said, your project with Janice, and other than that, you're doing lots of, you do like soundtrack stuff, and you do lots of electronic work, right?
Well, the electronic, yeah, the whole looping thing, that kind of like got overblown. There's too many of them out, so I stopped doing it. It really wasn't worth the time it takes a year to make one of those projects.
Yeah.
And I wasn't selling enough to make it worth my while. But my major focus is I like playing on artists' albums. If there's something I really like, I like to be a part of it. It frees my mind up to be on somebody else's thing.
Yeah.
You know, since I play so much of my stuff myself, playing everything, you get a little bit insulated. It's nice to stretch and go into someone else's comfort zone. And I'm doing more collaborating in that regard. And the cyber session thing has been good.
Yeah,
I like that too. That keeps me very fresh. And I love writing music. It's my favorite thing in the world to do.
Yeah. How does the cyber session work? You just stay there in your studio and you like digitalize
they send me a track.
Yeah.
Send me a track starting on bar 1. Tell me the BPM. I import it into my Pro Tools. I play my tracks. Send my tracks back individually. They put them into their session. Use them how they like.
Yeah.
And I like it because it's the whole concept of spontaneity. You know, there's no. I find when I'm in the actual room with someone playing a session for them, it can be a little bit like they don't know where I'm going with it, so they might 4 notes in say, no, do something else. Where I know I'm going to do like 2 other overdubs to complement it. And 9 times out of 10, when they let me do it myself and just send it to them, they like what I did.
Yeah.
I'm rarely asked to do it over. But if I'm in the room with someone, they're going to make you play it over like 10 times. And I like first takes, second takes. I like to move it along, not because I'm in a hurry, because of the creativity.
That's right. Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Well, would you say that you have increased your digital savvy like 100 times over in the last year or two? Because you're doing all this stuff that seems like you weren't doing before, but you're really the tech guy now, Digitech.
Well, not really. No, I know certain things. I don't know how you maintain a computer. I don't know if something breaks. I don't know how to fix it. I just know how to work in Pro Tools. That I know. I know how to do what I do.
Yeah.
basically. But I'm not very technical, and I'm not very sharp in that area. No, you have a misconception there. I'm glad it looks that way, though.
Don't shatter my illusions.
No, I know how to do what I know how to do. You know.
Yeah,
Like
but look, now you're
car.
Skyping and Facebooking and stuff, and before you were like, I don't know how that works, and now you're.
Oh yeah, in that respect, yeah, I've learned to do a few basic things, but
Yeah.
you have to.
Yeah.
You know.
Did you freeze?
No, I'm listening.
Oh, okay. I wasn't talking. You looked
Say
frozen. That was.
I do listen on occasion.
I was waiting for you to say. I thought you were going to continue the sentence. I thought you were frozen. Yeah. So.
Oh, mentally frozen.
Well, I hope you do more live stuff because those little like your YouTube videos of you at the Blue Note and they're so great. Those things they're really beautiful, really special little clips.
We're trying, you know. It's very hard to get clubs to play in. Very hard to get venues. We wanted more in different cities, you know.
Yeah.
Like I think we would go over well in Europe or in Japan. I think in Japan it would be they would love our band, but I'm not good on the business end of who to contact and how to make things happen.
Mm.
One of these days, I need some kind of management type human being that can take care of all that stuff. Because people, wherever we do it, people love the band.
Mm.
You know, even people who are not particular jazz fan will dig it.
Mm.
And it's kind of a way of winning them over because the whole set isn't just hardcore bebop. We'll have one, but then we'll break it up with something a little more accessible. I think that's good for the music. It's good for jazz to bring people in.
Well, we've talked before about you playing in Europe. I think that would be fantastic. You would go over very well here in Europe, but that's like I don't know it's such an expensive undertaking. It's not. I don't know. I wouldn't know how to work it.
Yeah, me neither. That's the problem. One of these days. One of these days, I'm working on it. It's a focus this year. I'm trying to do more of it because the band has gotten to a point where it really needs to be heard. It's good now.
Mm.
It's a very tight show. The musicians are responding just the way I want them to be. As my drummer said when I asked him, what do you think of the act now? He says, yeah, I dig it. It's getting more and more Vinnie-like. And I like that. It is getting more and more Vinnie-like. It's all over the map. It's a little insane. It's kind of fun. And our gigs are like old home week. People have a great time.
Do you guys call yourself something, or is it just your group, the Vinnie Zummo group?
Just Janice and Vinnie Zummo.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It was a Vinnie Zummo trio, but now that Janice has taken a more active part, she got her PhD, so she's got time block time opened up for her a bit. You know, so she can put a little more time in on it. So I'm trying to do that.
Okay. I thought you were going to say the other thing, like she doesn't have much time, but now that she's a PhD, she does have time. She calls the shots.
She has a little more time than she had when she was working on it. PhD is kind of a traumatic thing. I just watched it from a distance, and I'm amazed at how bright she is.
Wow.
I was never a school person.
Well, do you think, Jan, is she? What is her outlook for like future years? Does she want to do less of her day job and just concentrate on music in the end?
Well, her day job is also a vocation.
Yeah.
You know? Helps kids. She's doing really important work, really great work.
Yeah.
And she likes the balance of both. Ironically, her singing has gotten better from it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this thing is good. Music is better when you're not focused on it hysterically. If you can like put it in the back seat. It's funny, when we used to warm up for Joe Jackson gigs, the other guys would jump rope or do calisthenics. I would try to get myself absolutely bored. Because to me, any energy and my hands tense up.
Yeah.
Better to be relaxed. You play better.
Mm-hmm.
All that other stuff is just, I don't know, it's childish. Why do you have to get hyped up to go on stage? The minute you go out there, you're going to get hyped up. It's a very exciting kind of thing to do. You don't need to create artificial energy. Then again, I have my own way of looking at things. I'm the only person who worked on getting his boredom together.
Yeah. Do you, excuse me, do you blog or do you write? You could write a lot of interesting things about some of your experiences, you know. I
had a couple of times, but I'm not good that way unless somebody's asking me a question. I can respond good. It's like I don't play well by myself. Like I would never take a gig where I get up on a stage and play the guitar by myself. Never.
Why?
I sound terrible because I sound terrible. I need to feed off something.
Oh, okay.
Do it. I know it's odd, right? You think you have to
You can feed off the audience. Just go, hey, throw me give me song requests. I'll play whatever you want. You could you could do that. Yes, you could.
Nope.
No.
Right. Are we almost at wrapping up?
Yes, we are. Are you trying to hang up on me?
I'm sorry, but yeah, it's Sunday brunch time here.
Alrighty, yeah, we can wrap it up. We'll pull the plug.
It's what?
We'll pull the plug on this one. So,
it's about
huh?
Right? It's been about an hour.
Has it?
I'm enjoying it. Don't get me wrong.
Oh my God, it was an hour. How weird. I thought it was like a half hour. No, I know you said you have a session today too, right?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh. I thought you did. Okay, so here's what we'll do, VZ.
I have work to do. I don't have a session per se, but I have recording to do here. Yeah, I'm going to be working after brunch. I'm going to be working the rest of the day.
All right. Well, I don't want to cut into your brunch time. So, well, I'll edit the video and then I'll send you a rough copy, maybe in the next several days. Then, and then eventually you can, whatever you want to promote or any links you want to add, we'll do all that stuff later. And we'll just make it a nice package and I'll put it all over the internet. How about that?
When you know you're going to be putting it up, let me know.
I will. Well, I'll send it to you. Yeah, when it's in rough version, I'll send it to you first. You can say I like it or I don't like it. So, because you have to like it or
a lot of fun. I'm sure it's going to be cool, except for my stammering and getting caught up thoughts. But it's Sunday morning.
There's no stammering.
I'm not a morning kind of person.
Stop it. It was fun. Okay. No, I'll send you a copy before I publish it for sure, and then you have to like it, and then if you say yes, then we'll put it online. So that's my policy.
Fine. Take out the stammering and the pausing. I think we're going to be okay.
Stop it. All right.
Make me thinner. Oh.
That was a nice hour. Thank you for that hour, Vinny.
I had a good time. I enjoyed it very much, Sissy.
I'm glad.
I like to do it well.
Oh, you're a good one. I like you. I'm glad you're. I can call you my friend, right? I can say that my friend Vinny. You're my friend, right? Okay.
Absolutely.
Ow!
What? Be.
Okay. Well, have a good brunch. Tell regards to Janice, please, and I'll talk to you soon.
Hey there. Regards to your husband and your daughter.
All right. There's Georgie. There's.
Hi.
Hello. How you doing?
Oh. Okay, Vinny. Well, take care. I'll talk to you soon then.
Take care. You have a good weekend.
You too. Okay. Bye.